Spectacular world of plants that generate electricity. There is a phenomenon called bioelectricity. Bioelectricity refers to electrical potentials and currents occurring within or produced by living organisms. It results from the conversion of chemical energy into electrical energy. Source: encyclopedia.com. It is not a new concept and has been studied for many years. It is based on the principle that living organisms, including plants, generate small amounts of electrical energy through various biological processes. This electrical energy can be harnessed and utilized for practical applications. It is an intriguing concept that has gained attention in recent years. When the living organism is a plant, it is called plant-based bioelectricity or bioenergy. According to Science Direct, most African countries are fast adopting bioenergy technologies, and this is because of the urgent need to find suitable alternatives to fossil-based energy. According to Science Daily, researchers discovered that plants can generate by a single leaf more than 150 volts, enough to simultaneously power 100 LED light bulbs. Welcome to Real World Sci-Communications. Kindly like, make comments, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share. According to Science Direct, most African countries are fast adopting bioenergy technologies, and this is because of the urgent need to find suitable alternatives to fossil-based energy. According to Reuters publication on Africa's first grid-connected biogas plant powers up, January 10, 2017 publication, a commercial farm in Kenya has become Africa's first electricity producer powered by biogas to sell surplus electricity to the national grid. Plant ability to generate electricity has aroused a lot of interest and enthusiasm even among non-scientists or everyday people and government in some parts of Asia and Africa. The generation of electricity from trees or plants primarily relies on two mechanisms: microbial fuel cells, MFCs, and piezoelectricity. Number 1. Microbial fuel cells, MFCs, also known as plant microbial fuel cells, PMFCs. They are devices that utilize the natural metabolic processes of plants to produce electricity. They work by harnessing the energy generated during the breakdown of organic matter by microorganisms present in the soil surrounding plant roots. These microorganisms, known as electrogenic bacteria, release electrons as a byproduct of their metabolic activities. These microorganisms break down organic matter through a process called anaerobic respiration. During this process, they transfer electrons from the organic matter to an electrode, generating an electric current. MFCs consist of an anode, where microorganisms oxidize organic matter, a cathode where reduction reactions occur, and a proton exchange membrane that allows the flow of ions while preventing the mixing of reactants. The key component of an MFC is the anode, which is typically placed in the soil near the plant roots. The anode acts as a medium for bacterial growth and facilitates the transfer of electrons from the microorganism to the external circuit. The cathode, on the other hand, is exposed to air and serves as the electron acceptor. By harnessing these charges, it is possible to generate electricity. However, the amount of electricity produced through piezoelectricity is relatively low and requires further advancement in technology to make it practical for large-scale energy generation. MFCs have shown promising results in laboratory settings, demonstrating the ability to generate small amounts of electricity from plants such as rice, sugarcane, and even trees like poplar. However, their efficiency is currently limited and further research is needed to optimize their performance. PMFCs is one of the emerging technologies that aim to harness the natural processes of photosynthesis in plants to generate electricity. Number 2. Piezoelectricity. As reported by Science Direct, Bellincourt 1971 defines it as the ability of a material to generate an internal electric field when subjected to mechanical stress or strain. It also refers to the ability of certain materials to generate an electric charge when subjected to mechanical stress or pressure. Some plants possess piezoelectric properties due to the presence of specific molecules such as cellulose, and lignin in their cell walls. When a tree or plant is subjected to external forces like wind or vibrations, these piezoelectric materials within the plant generate small electrical charges. By harnessing these charges, it is possible to generate electricity. However, the amount of electricity produced through piezoelectricity is relatively low and requires further advancement in technology to make it practical for large-scale energy generation. Another potential use is in remote areas where access to traditional sources of electricity is limited. By utilizing PMFCs, communities could generate electricity from plants, providing a sustainable and renewable energy source. While the concept of trees or plants generating electricity is scientifically plausible, it is important to note that the current technology is still in its infancy. One of the most common methods of generating electricity from plants is through the use of biomass power plants. These power plants burn organic materials such as wood chips, agricultural residues, or dedicated energy crops to produce steam. The steam then drives a turbine connected to a generator, which produces electricity. This process is similar to traditional coal or gas-fired power plants, but instead of fossil fuels, biomass is used as a fuel source. Another method is through the use of biogas production. Certain types of plants such as corn or sugarcane can be fermented to produce biogas, which is a mixture of methane and carbon dioxide. These biogas can then be burned to generate electricity. The potential applications of plant-based bioelectricity are diverse. One possible application is in environmental monitoring systems, where plants could power sensors to collect data on air quality, soil moisture levels, or even detect pollutants. By utilizing PMFCs, communities could generate electricity from plants, providing a sustainable and renewable energy source. While the concept of trees or plants generating electricity is scientifically plausible, it is important to note that the current technology is still in its infancy. To power many communities, towns, and even cities, there are several advantages to using plantations of trees or plants for electricity generation. Number 1, renewable energy. Plant-based electricity generation is considered a renewable energy source because trees and plants can be regrown or replanted after harvesting. Unlike fossil fuels, which are finite resources and contribute to climate change when burned, plant-based energy sources are sustainable and do not deplete natural resources. Number 2, carbon neutrality. When trees or plants are grown for biomass energy production, they absorb carbon dioxide from atmosphere through photosynthesis. When this biomass is burned for electricity generation, it releases carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. However, since new trees or plants can be grown to replace the harvested ones, the process remains carbon neutral. This helps to mitigate greenhouse gas emissions and combat climate change. Number 3, waste utilization. Plantations for electricity generation can utilize agricultural residues, forestry waste, or dedicated energy crops that would otherwise go to waste. By converting these organic materials into electricity, we can reduce the amount of waste sent to landfills and promote a more sustainable waste management system. Number 4, local economic development. Plantation-based electricity generation can create new job opportunities in rural areas where biomass resources are abundant. It can also provide an additional source of income for farmers and landowners who can grow energy crops or supply biomass feedstock to power plants. Number 5, energy security. By diversifying our energy sources and reducing reliance on fossil fuels, plant-based electricity generation can enhance energy security. Since biomass resources are typically locally available, it reduces dependence on imported fuels and strengthens domestic energy production. Number 6, ecosystem services. Plantations of trees or plants contribute to various ecosystem services such as soil conservation, water filtration, and biodiversity preservation. These plantations can help prevent soil erosion, improve water quality, and provide habitat for wildlife. There are numerous studies and ongoing research in the field of bioenergy that demonstrate the feasibility and potential of using plantations of trees or plants to generate electricity. However, it is important to note that the efficiency and scalability of these methods vary depending on factors such as the type of biomass used, technology employed, and environmental considerations. In conclusion, while trees or plants generating electricity through bioelectricity mechanisms is an intriguing concept, it is still in the early stages of development. Further research and technological advancements are necessary to improve efficiency, scalability, and address environmental concerns before it can become a viable alternative energy source. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned for more updates.